More than in any other recent conflict, the Second World War brought misery not just to the armed combatants, but also to civilian populations. And among those that suffered most were the people of Coventry. Their city was the target of bombing raids throughout the war, but November 1940, known as the Coventry Blitz, saw attacks of the greatest ferocity, leading to the highest casualties. The German codename for the attack was Moonlight Sonata. This was chosen because the raids were planned for clear moonlit nights that would give the bombers best visibility for finding their targets, and at the same time minimize the threat from British fighter planes and anti-aircraft fire. The worst night, the 14th of November, was clear and with a full moon, ideal conditions for the 449 bombers that, according to the Nazi claims, dropped 30,000 incendiaries and 500 tons of high explosives onto Coventry. On that night, over 500 civilians died. The exact figures will never be known, as many bodies could not be recovered from the remains of the collapsed and burning buildings. Those who survived the Blitz also suffered, many still being seriously affected more than 60 years later. These are some of their recollections.
On that particular night, November the 10th, it was a frosty night, cold, but very, very clear. And I had the lone bomber come over, straight over, top of Airshill Common. Within half an hour later, I went out to the front, put my home guard coat on. I said, "Look down the road, you'll see what's happened." The Elvis was all on fire. Bloody great flame, sheet of flames it was.
Well, Phyllis Smith was my brother-in-law's sister, and Arthur Smith was my brother-in-law's father. They were both killed in the air raid shelter, Phyllis was, at the age of 28. And Arthur Smith was dug from the rubble in the shelter, taken to Coventry and Warwickshire Hospital by ambulance, but unfortunately a bomb dropped on the ambulance, which was a direct hit and killed all the crew and Arthur Smith at the age of 60.
It was good fortune that I am here today, because at the height of the Blitz, my father, in his wisdom, decided that the safest place for us to be during the raids was under the stairs. We were offered air raid shelters from various people, like Anderson shelters for the garden, which was just simply a corrugated arch with soil on top. Really, it was a very fortunate